clay could be really tough to run. What's everybody doing today? Having a good Happy New Year? This material right here, it came from a spot I call the honey hole. So, should have gold in it. Got a little baby scoop too. Check that out. In comparison, it's kind of comical. This material has so much clay in it. I'm trying to get it to stay in the hopper just a little bit longer, because as these clay balls roll down your sluice, they will actually accumulate gold and carry it out with you. So. Lost a lot of pressure in this box. Let me check the pump. Oh, that's a greedy scoop. Yeah, I lost water pressure somehow. The pump looks good. Battery should be good. Just charged it the other day. See if I can find you a undisturbed section of clay. It's just a big rock. It's good gritty clay. Like I said, this is all honey hole material that all came from me and a buddy. We got a spot we go to religiously. When we get skunked, we always know we find gold there. It's one of those places we don't really overwork it because it's kind of hard to find those places, and for me it's more about finding more deposits just like that. So, but we were in there the other day and I grabbed 2 bags of material. This is 1 bag of unclassified material from that creek. So when I say it's dense in clay, I mean it is, but it's gritty clay, and gritty clay is the clay you want. I hope everybody's having a happy new year. 2026 feels pretty weird to say, honestly. And this is the first live I have ever done. So if y'all are saying anything in the chat, I can't see it. I literally just have the micro banker out here, a bucket of material, and the camera. I didn't have time to go prospecting today like I wanted to, but this is second best thing, I guess. So it's all good. See, I'm dealing with very small gold. So even in a section of clay like that, I mean, that could have a speck. And like they say, it all adds up. So you really want to make sure. It's a interesting looking rock. But yeah, you want to make sure that all the clay is really off these rocks if you want to maximize the amount of gold that you're going to cover. And again, this is the micro banker by DreamMat. It's a small unit. You could put it in a 5-gallon bucket and carry it anywhere you want to go. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. So where's everybody from? Not that I can see the comment, but I will go back through and look at them. Kind of curious to where everybody's watching from. That's the cool thing about YouTube. I never thought that I would be in contact with people, you know, on the other side of the planet, and they would interact with my videos and I'd watch theirs. And I mean, it's really cool how the internet kind of brings people together. I met a lot of cool people. I don't know if y'all could see that. It's not focusing. I'm gonna put that over to the side. We'll see if I got any gold to show y'all. All right, so we'll do this. This is just my snuffer, kind of the past few trips. Actually, probably more than the past few. And there should be some gold in here. Let's see. It's hard to do. Extend it away from you. Yeah, but that's a little bit of gold. That is all North Carolina gold. Isn't that cool? A lot of people don't know that we have that in North Carolina. Well, buddy, I used to do nothing but hunt and fish. And then I found this as a hobby, and that's fun. But The duck hunting is really fallen off in the state of North Carolina. It's pretty much, if you're not a big conglomerate or a lawyer in Raleigh, you can't really have an impoundment. And the way the blind laws work in eastern North Carolina, if you don't own land, you pretty much are screwed. This is my attempt left-handed tap. We're gonna go back right-handed. But yeah, that is some North Carolina gold right there. Like I said, that was quite a few trips of being out. And it's all through that material. Let's get back to the bucks. And the other thing I've been thinking about doing is maybe like a pay dirt giveaway once a month, twice a month. Y'all let me know in the comments how much gold you would like to see in a pay dirt bag, but be realistic. I still do HVAC for a living, but I could definitely give away some of the gold that I find. I think that would be a pretty cool giveaway. This clay just takes forever to break down. Now, when I first started, I thought, gold was only really in central North Carolina or, out towards the mountains or in the foothills like Uwharrie and stuff like that. While there's gold out there, there's still a lot of gold that's left in the eastern counties of North Carolina. Now, when I say eastern, I'm not talking about like Fayetteville I think there is a gold mine actually in Fayetteville. But what I'm referring to is more like the Nash County, Franklin County gold deposits. A lot of history there. And we find a lot of it going through the woods. And it's kind of mind-blowing to see just how much work these guys have really put in. The guys that came before us, commercial mining in North Carolina's pretty much done for the most part as far as in my area. But yeah, these guys, they hammered the ground. And it's like being a detective walking through the woods. You're trying to piece together what they did. We found sections of black sand that are so dense. It's probably 3 feet thick and nothing but black sands. And it's on the side of a hill. It's just really strange what they were doing there. And then the other stuff you kind of find while you're doing this, like the buttons and the harmonica reeds and the spoons that tell kind of a different story of gold mining. We found one spot on top of a hill, and you could tell it was a camp. Harmonica reeds, spoons. I think we found like a broken spur up there as well. But these guys, they were living it. They would work hard every single day to go get gold, go back to the camp, hang out, and it kind of tells a different story than just the mining aspect of it. Like, they were humans too, they weren't robots. Although back in the day, I think their bosses really did treat them like robots. But I've been doing a lot of prospecting with Ross Fisher over at NC Treasure Hunters Campground. And they got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. So if y'all get a moment, go check them out. It's getting about to the time of the season where we're going to start pulling the dredges out. We've got a pile of permissioned property this year. But honestly, it's probably more than I will be able to prospect in 1 year alone. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me about properties. And guys, I've really tried to get to everyone. But I work full time. This is just a hobby for me. Contrary to what anybody thinks, this is just a hobby. I enjoy it. I have fun. But my real job, I do HVAC for a living. So, yeah, it's hard to find time to get to everything. And there's a lot of people that have reached out to me multiple times, and I feel bad when I tell them, it's going to be a little bit longer. But I moved in July, so that messed up a lot of the dredging season. So majority of the summer was spent packing and getting ready for the move and finding a new place. But we're all settled in now. Family's doing great. And I even got this cool little creek in the backyard where I could test equipment and stuff before I go out and try to find the gold. Or bring material back home and process it. Because there's only so much time in the day, and when you're out there, you're trying to... It takes a little bit of time to process material to get enough gold to show y'all. Like, you're not going to go out here in a lot of places and find a pile of gold in your first pan. It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. Oh, that's a big rock. But in this one, I have high hopes for this material. Like I said, it came out of a spot that Ross and I refer to as the honey hole. And you don't call places a honey hole if they don't have gold. That's for sure. That is just crazy to me. Wish I would focus. We're gonna let that bake for a little bit. Just boil. What is y'all's go-to mat for prospecting? What's everybody using? I've got my opinion, but I want to hear y'all's. Me personally, I can make anything catch gold or lose gold. I think they all have their place. And what I would love to see one of these manufacturers get behind and kind of capture everything. Why not use everything? Why not use drop ripple? Why not use dream mat? Why not use miner's moss? Why can't we fit that in one box? I think that would be pretty cool. Certain gold like certain situations. Like I said, I have one more sandbag of material from this spot. So if this goes well, I might start doing more lives. Maybe try out different pieces of equipment. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see ran, and I'll run it. No, this is a cool little unit. you're not going to process a pile of material with this. If that's what you're looking for, there are other boxes out there. But if you're just wanting to kind of relax and, you know, hang out on the creek and test a few spots, or, you know, this would be really great for pay dirt. It would probably eat through a bag of pay dirt in no time. You could probably dump it right in. You wouldn't have any issues. But kind of the fun is to make it last. I got a lot of equipment for this, and it always just goes back to a gold pan at the end of the day. So it's really all you need if you're interested in this. You get a shovel, pan, and a classifier, and you're kind of in business. You can see the different layers in this. You got your red and your darker black clay layer. Try to get this box a little bit better. And I would love to see Dream Mat come up with something like a clay claw. I saw Crux came out with the clay claw for their hopper, which is really cool. I went and printed. No, you're getting back in there. Went and printed these last night. Didn't really get the dimensions just right. I was hoping it to kind of act as, you know, a clay claw in a sense, where you could just put the material in here and it would rest. But I lost a lot of flow, so that's kind of pointless. I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's going to be raining tomorrow, so might mess around with the 3D printer a little bit. That's actually been pretty cool. Been seeing a lot of the files that they have. There's some crazy looking mineralization right here. No, but there is gold in the great state of North Carolina. I think a lot of people, they tried to gatekeep this hobby, but me, I think it's a great hobby. I end up getting a lot of heavy metals out of the creek. Like I said, I came from a hunting background, so, you know, growing up, they'd tell me, well, when you go duck hunting, you have to use steel shot. You can't use lead anymore. And I never understood why. I really didn't. And then I started getting into prospecting. And let me tell you, in the state of North Carolina, there is a lot of lead in these creeks. A lot. Like, it would almost shock a lot of people to know that when you shoot your shotgun, guess where all those pellets go? They find their way to a stream, creek, or whatever. But yeah, I'm not like a tree hugger or anything, but I mean, we do have to be honest with ourselves that we do have effects on things. But yeah, my job, I've probably gotten pounds and pounds of lead out of the creek. I wish I found that much gold, but again, that's not the case. And we find a lot of mercury, especially in the areas that were mined heavily. There's a lot of mercury still in these creek beds, and The only real way to get it out is, go in there and get it. And yeah, me and Mercury, we have a bittersweet relationship, that is for sure. And I mean, this is some clay. It's gritty, but it's clay. It takes a little bit longer to work down in your box. You're not going to run this like river gravels. Just not going to. You want this material to kind of sit up in the hopper and boil for a little bit before it goes down the box. Because all these small clay balls, what they'll do is they'll grab your gold as they go down the sluice box and they'll carry it out with them. Thieving clay. But it's the nature of the beast and you got to work around it. You just got to deal with it. As you go through and read a lot of the history books. Well, when I say history books, Tim Fisher put together a book of compiling all the history in the area, and I mean, it's a shortcut. He hooked me up with that. A lot of the information you can't find on Google, and everything they talk about, it's this clay is one of the reasons they didn't stay in eastern North Carolina. I mean, it's rough. I know everybody thinks they have the roughest clay, and I'm not here to dispute you. I'm sure your clay is just as bad as mine, just as dense. But I think we could all agree that running clay is kind of a pain in the butt. Again, I got this cut wide open, and that pump is down there screaming. So, but I lost a little bit of velocity here. No, but again, but for the people who weren't here when I first started, I was using that joker. It's quite small compared. Yeah, that is 3D printed. Thought that was pretty cool. My buddy Brad over at Geo Sluice, he has some like this. They're 4 inches. I think this one's like 6 right here. But if y'all want one that's 4 inches, hit Brad up. I might start selling these. I don't know. There's so many people online selling y'all stuff. I don't know if I really want to be one of those guys. Like I said, I have a full-time job. I just enjoy gold prospecting. I don't really do it so much for the gold. I mean, I love finding the gold, but there's something therapeutic about being on the creek. Sorry, I won't make y'all stare at that any longer. Yeah, I mean, it does a pretty decent job of getting it clean. So, sugar quartz, and it breaks up. The only issue I really wish we had like a stopper here. stopper here to keep any material from going down right here. But majority of your gold, honestly, is going to be right here in this little miner's moss section. And then you got the trusty Dream Mat bringing up the rear. That's going to kind of play defense and catch anything that got out of the box. And you'll find some in the box, don't get me wrong. But my experience when you're running a high banker with a mat in it, especially if you're not really blowing material out, a lot of your gold's going to sit right here. Yep, the longer your material can stay up here, the better off you are in my mind. I know there's a lot of people that like to speed bank and they'll have their hopper kind of turned up at angles. All the material just slides down. I'm not that guy. I want to wash every bit of clay off that I can. I've seen gold stick in these spots. I've actually wondered, and you know, threw a little bit of a rock with some clay on it in a pan that out, and wouldn't you know it, you'd have like two specks of gold in it. And while it doesn't sound like a lot, that all adds up. Especially here in North Carolina. We treasure every speck. My hat goes off. I mean, the guys in Colorado, they have great gold. The guys in Alaska have great gold. California, amazing gold. I mean, we're over here on the East Coast getting the crumbs. But there's still some decent gold around. You just got to work a little bit harder for it. I think the coolest experience prospecting was I went with the Fishers over to a piece of permission property with a gentleman by the name of Mike Pung. And if you don't know who Mike Pung is, he is a legend as well in the prospecting community. I trust his opinion. And he gave me a quick little rundown about how to run and operate the Gold Monster. And within 5 minutes of him giving me that little spill about how to run it and what to look for, and I'm standing over there in the middle of the woods, and he's looking over at me, and he sees me smiling, and he hears the tone that's going off on my detector. And this is something that's going to live rent-free in my head for the rest of my life. He looks at me, and in typical Mike Pung one-line fashion, he says, "Quit smiling and dig." And wouldn't you know it, I found my first detectable size gold that day with Mike Pung. I thought that was pretty cool. I think in a 48-hour period between Mike Pung, Tim, and Ross, they found, I believe it was 32 detectable pieces of gold, which is pretty unheard of for around here. About 3 o'clock now. I probably have maybe 2 hours before I won't be able to do anything. It's going to be too dark. We are almost at the bottom. Got a good little bit more to go. But we are kind of racing the clock. When it gets behind those trees, it'll get dark here for sure. Smoky quartz. I'm sure you could kind of put some rocks in certain areas, trying to dam that up to keep it from rolling out on one side. All right, let's keep it going. Again, scissor camp, get some fresh water. Show y'all some North Carolina gold for the ones who don't want to stay the whole time. but want to see some gold. Yeah, my wife just sent me a message, said answer in chat, and I'll be honest, I can't see my chat. This is my first one. I'll get it figured out though. Sorry, I'm not ignoring y'all. I really am not. I just can't see the chat. Some North Carolina gold. That was a greedy scoop, if I've ever seen one. I'll try it again. Might do a Sunday live out here. I got another bag of this. And again, if y'all are saying anything in chat, I can't see the chat. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring y'all at all. I just honestly can't see it. That, and I kind of got to get through this bucket before the sun goes down so I can show y'all some gold. And some might even say going this far as washing each one is too far. Yeah. It's my dirt. I don't care. I'm going to do it. It's all about having fun. We only got a few more scoops of this, and then I will break it down, and we'll see how much gold we got for that bag of material out of the honey hole. Love that spot. Hard place to work though, but the gold is really good. In the summertime, it's not somewhere you really want to be. I mean, it's virtually no water in the summertime. So 'tis the season. You need to be in there. And I'll get this live figured out as far as the chat by Sunday. Kind of use the clay for your advantage too. Try and at least keep material in the box while I do this. I only brought 2 pans, so I'm gonna pan that out, see if this system missed anything. We're gonna pan this out. We're gonna do it in a few different ways. Probably break down the hopper, then do the box. But I gotta snuff this up so I could have a pan to work in. Again, all of that clay needs to be broke up before it goes into your box. There's still a fair amount of gold in there. Still got more up in here. And again, we are almost out of material, so. What I can do, I could probably pan what's left in here while this works in the box, and we'll see if there's any gold in the bottom. So let's do that. I'm just gonna sit here and let this run. We might be able to go right there. We'll see. So that's kind of all the material that was left in that pan. Pan that out and we'll see if there was anything in the bottom of that bucket or if I just kind of wasted my time. There are 2 pieces in the bucket, so wasn't a colossal waste of time, but I'm not paying any bills with that. But it's not about that. Let's see. Specks right there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. But trust me, there's 2 specks right there. Let's finish this box. And I'll cut the pump off. And we'll clean it out. All right, let's clean it out. And again, I could have processed this material a lot faster. I'm gonna go ahead and snuff this up. But yeah, there's 1 piece here, 1 piece there. Very small, but they're there. This way we're not tainting any test results. So when you take this off, it is just a wing nut. Grizzly bar comes out. Don't lose that. That's kind of important. And then all this material, I can even see gold sitting right here. Right there. We have gold just resting. And I'm gonna wash this out separate. Squeaky clean. This clay is just beat down in that mat. So that's the gold we got in the top hopper. But if you look close, right here, there's black sand and a pile of gold right there. What I'm gonna do is actually pull this dream mat, and then I'm gonna flush this into the pan, and it will give us a more accurate count of what's in here versus what's in the mat. So, has another wing nut under here. It would remove that. That would just slide out. We'll pan that out in a second. Move that pan. Get our $40 filter bucket. Or the dollar buckets. I'll go pan that out. First one right there. All right, so that's pretty much the gold that was in the top hopper. Next, I'm gonna do the box, and we're just gonna show all the gold together, I guess.